the fact that you're America means you have leash that Argentina does not. You are, the issuer of the world's reserve currency. You are the world's biggest economy still, perhaps not for long, but still. So you have latitude and room for maneuver that allows for extremely risky forms of economic experimentation, which we are witnessing right now. Like the Liberation Day tariffs are of a kind that, if you look at the graphs of like relative tariff rates, I mean, it's above the 1930s. Like actually, the United States since the 19th century has never had these kind of barriers to trade. Any other country would be immediately just like expelled from the world economy by doing this. They can do it because they are America. And there are people inside of the Trump administration, I think, who have these ideas like maybe we can just have a period of quote unquote detox, have a period of maybe like low growth or even degrowth. But in the process, we will self-strengthen. We will maybe get back on a martial footing. Maybe we will even have to have a small war to bring a sense of meaning back into the lives of young men. But afterwards, we will be more autonomous than ever, and we won't be so dependent on these foreign countries for the production of all of our goods. And that's the kind of thought process going through the minds of some of the national conservatives and paleo-conservatives that actually bears no relationship to the neoliberal heritage at all by that time, right? When Hayek and company got together in the 1930s, they got together to oppose that kind of thing. They got together to oppose the idea that political will should rule economic rationality at every moment and should have a kind of ability to reorganize the world based only from the demands of the nation rather than the needs of the world economy. They wanted to speak for the world economy at some level, which there are very few people inside of the Trump administration doing right now, whereas someone like Milei arguably is in a weird way. He's like, not the hero we wanted, but the hero we need for the Davos crowd, right? And I can't see anyone looking at the Navarros or the Bessents of the Trump administration that way. Rather, they're really out on a limb now and doing improvisational dancing of a kind that everyone is just looking at agog and say, what are they trying to convey? And nobody
flip table, see what happens.
Nobody knows. Yes. And so in that sense, I understand in a way why there's some people on the kind of post-left who say, what are you being critical of? This is great. Like the consensus is gone. All bets are off. Like neoliberalism has been killed by its own makers. Why aren't we, ourselves like tap dancing the streets now? Because like a window has been opened for a brave and interesting new world. Reason I'm not joining them is because the way that the game is still being rigged, I think, is, extraordinarily weighted against ordinary working people. And the kinds of experimentation they're doing right now is still designed in such a way to maximally enrich a very small group of insiders and to maximally dispossess and make life harder for the larger group of outsiders.
But there's something libidinal about it, isn't it?
Oh,
so like the left look at it and they go, someone's doing something,
yeah.
and you're saying eat my shorts, and I feel, even though I hate you and I'm implacably opposed to your project, I feel alive because of it. There's a bit of that in there.
Yeah, no, there is. And I think that, that is part of what the end of history was about, right? People sometimes
Poor
forget.
Francis. He's never lived that essay down.
No, well, I was just going to actually salvage his reputation because, if you read it, as many people don't, he was very down key about the end of history, right? He's like, this will be a very sad time. This will be a time of men with hollow chests who will not be able to find meaning. And the point of that essay is from the Nietzsche, Zarathustra walking around and giving these lectures to people in church squares and saying, like, the last man will be someone who is not able to find meaning in the world. And people are like, who is this last man? We want to be the last man. And so for Fukuyama, this was a tragic ending for history. And what we're getting back is actually what he was saying we had lost, which is like a sense of conflict and recognition and is a desire for struggle. So all of those things, there you go. Like we have them in spades now. But whether or not that will offer anything other than like a frisson of excitement before the time of misery remains to be seen.